I ain't drunk. I'm just drinking.
But you're so high.
Oh man, you know I ain't high.
But you're so high.
Yeah, well I just take a little sip every now and then.
But you're so high.
You ought to be ashamed of
Stay
yourself.
drunk all
Oh,
the
come
time.
on now, you all don't feel like that.
Bam! Hey kids, welcome to the mess. Happy Friday. You're going to watch me clean up my mess too, because I'm just going to talk a little bit first, and we're going to go over the new build today. And a good friend of mine pointed something out. His name's Arby, and he's doing his own channel now. He's trying to get that off the ground, and I'm going to put a link to his last video right there. Check him out. He's a good guy. He's kind of like me. Little, you know, he's old school, blah, 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 but he's from the South. He's a joy to watch, and he says it like it is, and I like anybody that does that. So anyway, he and I, we talk every day, and like I do with a lot of my buddies. And I think I kind of inspired him to do a little bit more artistic builds, colorful builds, whatever you want to call it. And he didn't really say it out loud, but I saw it in one of his videos. He's like, well, you know, and he made a good point. I never really even thought of it this way. He said, if you're going to spend time doing all this stuff, you might as well make it look cool. You know, and I'm like, yeah, that's a good idea. And then I thought to myself, why the fuck do I do it? I like the hydro dipping. It's fun. I just think I like to hydro dip shit. It's just, it's kind of like tattoos and potato chips. Like I said, you just keep doing it, and it's like, oh, I can hydro dip my kid's head, you know. It's just fun. But my theory was, the reason I started doing hydro dips and just custom crazy, you know, pretzel twists with the heat shrink and stuff like you've seen on a lot of my builds, and just like a lot of that stuff that y'all think is very time consuming, and it's really not. At least not for me when you build a zillion birds. But the reason I did it, to be quite honest, it is not for performance. It's 100% most of the time cosmetics. And I like Mr. Arby's channel. I like his outlook. It's like, well, if you're going to spend all this time, you might as well make, you know, have something you're going to be proud of and it's going to look cool, blah, blah, blah. And my theory was, I was bored. And that's why I honestly, you know, I wish I had the outlook he had. But I don't do it to... I only did it because I was bored. I got tired of... I'm trying to see if I even have a normal-looking quad. I don't. I don't. I just got really tired of building a fucking frame, 4 motors, here's a flight controller, I'm going to use zip strips everywhere and electrical tape, and which is, there's nothing wrong with that. Function over fashion, perfectly fine. But I really just needed something different to kind of keep me interested in it, because I'm very fortunate, I sell a lot of birds, a lot of stuff you guys see, I sell. So when I sell a bird, I buy more crap and I build a bird. But, you know, you can only do that so often. Now, here's a normal one. A little tiny one. Normal looking, you know. But you can only do that so long. You get kind of bored. So then you start building micros that are hydro dipped, and you do Mocha JJs. I don't know if you guys saw this one. This is kind of a cool Mocha JJ I did with a yellow base coat and water drop hydro film, which is kind of cool. You just kind of do it. That's why. And I don't, you know, a lot of the guys in my club don't, but a lot of them are coming up to the point where they just do very detailed builds. There's a difference between detail and cosmetics. Cosmetics is just how it fucking looks, which you see a lot of my stuff. I try to incorporate looks along with, you know, cosmetics with function. Keeps the wires out of the way and blah, blah, blah. And, you know, when I braid motor wires and I test it to make sure there's no extra noise and things like that. So a lot of the guys in the club have really stepped up their game, and I'm very proud of them, because when we all met, and even goes for me too, we were building just kind of basic old, oh, look, this is cool. And then it started getting better and better and better. And I'm not talking about hydro dips and paint jobs and bullshit like that. I'm talking about the way they solder. I'm talking about the way they assemble things, the way they wrap their motor wires, the way they take care of the wires inside the frame, which is very important. And how you build, it is not, I get teased a lot because I build very, very fast. And I build, like, take this bird for instance, this campfire quad with the Willys 2500 kV that you guys saw the other day. I built that in, I think, under an hour. all up. Not counting the hydro dip. Hydro dip's another 15 minutes, obviously. My average build time is about an hour. With minus interruptions and bullshit, obviously, of life. But for the most part, and making roto twisters, gotta make a roto twister. This one's a little deep looking today, but it's not how fast you build a bird. It's literally how well is it going to hold up with vibration. Twisting the wires inside the frame, you know, are they gonna, that's gonna keep them from hanging out or getting cut into props? Just stupid little shit. You guys know what I'm talking about. Take your time with it, and pretend you're a surgeon. That's really the best way to do it. When you're sitting there and you've got your tweezers going and you're doing your thing, and it's like, just, oh, you look at something, it's like, fuck me, that's gonna be a hard solder joint. Bam. Pretend you're a surgeon. It's fun. We all pretend. We pretend we can fly. That's why we have quads. So anyway, getting to the point. I don't know if there is a point. Oh yeah, this is a build overview. That's right. I built a bird today, and did I even bring it out? No, there it is. And I actually started it yesterday. I took my time with it, and I think the reason I go so fast is because I live with 3 women, and I'm always getting nagged at to come back in the house. And I think that's the only... I think if I was still single, it would probably take me a week to do a build just because I'd be taking my time. But anyway, it just adds a different flavor of fun to it. And really, the whole thing's kind of stupid, really, anyhow, because you got goggles on, you can't really see what the hell they look like. They all look the same in the goggles, right? But I wanted to share this build with you just because I think it's cool. And I took my time on it. Did a hydro dip on it yesterday, and I threw the guts in today. And the guts, Jadinas usually take me, I'm not going to lie, they usually take me 2 hours. A normal bird takes me an hour, but Jadina frame is not the easiest build you'll ever do. So if you guys want a challenge, build a Jadina, okay? So I call this one Kandy, and it's pretty insane, realistically. Did a multicolor hydro dip job on the top plate, not the bottom plate. And the TPU hood, all right, or the nose cone, whatever you want to call it, which it did look like this before, okay? My buddy Mikey in the club prints me these out. I got a buttload of them. I love them. Thanks, Mike. Bam, shout out. So, and of course I did it in a headhunter configuration, which I always do with my Mocha Simplex Pros, and my Jadinas are always what in a Jadina I called a witch. You guys know that. You've probably seen my witches. Got a Foxeer Predator super wide angle camera in here, and Wild Willies, because I love the Wild Willies on that campfire bird I just showed you guys. But they're insane, absolutely fucking insane, but they're 2500 kV. I got the 2700 kV for this one. Check that out. Bam. I have not pop tested this yet because it's raining. Either way, typical far view antenna, got the receiver and all that crap. I did hydro dip these just to the motor mounts, just to make it look a little cool. I actually hydro dipped the props. These are green props. I didn't paint them or anything. This has got a base coat of yellow, and then I did the multicolor hydro dip over it. But these were just green props, and I hydro dipped them in the same dip as this. Notice I'm colorblind, but to me this looks like just gray on gray. But I actually did balance these. I clear coated them, hydro dipped them, and balanced them. You guys are shaking your head like that is fucking gay, dude. No. The reason I did that is because I'm going to have my smoking hot wife, Miss Photographer, take pictures of this. This is a gallery build in my book. That's what the props are for. I did balance them. You can fly them, but obviously we've all seen me land. They're only going to last one shot. But I'm using bi-blades because these are 2700 kV motor, right? So that's 2700 RPM times voltage. So if you're running 16 volts, do the math. 16 times 2700 is a lot. So I'm running bi-blades on this one only. This one, the 2500s, you can go either way. But anything 2500 and up, this bird is built to go fast. That was my thinking behind this. So we did the wiring like this, a little bit different than I'd normally do a Jadina. Usually I just do a twist or a braid or whatever, and I just run the wires on the inside here. But in this case, we did it on the outside. This is actually antenna tube that's blue. And so I got yellow heat shrink, and then I heat shrinked over the blue, put a little bit of flare tail on there. I figure, you know, I'm talking to my wife about, because she obviously can see color. I'm thinking pink motors, funky looking props, funky looking dip. We're going to call this Kandy. The other thing I did do as well is, if you look at the aluminum frame in the Jadina here, that I did strip with Easy Off. I got the anodizing off, which I really didn't have to do. I was originally going to go with the stainless look, like my witch, the real witch. And then at the last minute, after I stripped it, I thought, nah, I'm going to paint it flat black. I got this great paint that's actually high temperature barbecue grill paint, and it really works good. It looks like charcoal. So I thought it kind of blends nice. I like it. Fox Ear Predator. And the other thing that I did different with this, I don't normally do with Jadinas, I used a micro 2020 stack in this. You can see at the bottom there, there's your holes for your 30s. Here's your holes for your 20s. I use a 2020 stack. It's an HGLRC F440. So it's basically an Omnibus F4 flight controller with a 40 amp BL Heli S ESC. So stupid light as far as Jadinas go. This TPU hood does add a little bit more weight than having the stock frame hood, but I don't care. I like it. And I don't race anyway, so what do I care? Running the VTX03 in here, obviously, that's what I always run. But yeah, using the 2020 stack in this was so much freaking easier than building it. I always build them with cicadas. This is my third Jadina, and I think I've built 5. I built 2 for other people. And I always use a cicada because the USB port comes out of the back here, and it's much easier to get into your computer. And I have a cicada, and I was going to use it, and I thought, well, I got this little micro stack too that I was going to use for a different build, and I have to order another one. Fuck it. So I put it in there, and it was so much easier because I brought the motors in, or the wires in through the front instead of the sides, and it's just a much cleaner, nicer, very lightweight build. So to refresh your memory, hang on, I need a twist. All right, to refresh your memory, the Witch is this guy, okay? Very much similar, but notice my wires are on the outside, which is fine. Nothing bad about that. This one's running a cicada. Print job's kind of... This is one of my first dip jobs. I need to redo it. VTX03. It's running almost the same gear. It's also running a Fox Ear super wide angle. Very nice. But this one's running the Brother Hobby Avenger 2207 2450s. The one thing I noticed about Jadinas, and maybe it's just me, but I had those Lumineer Frybots on my other Jadina, and I fucking hated them. But they're decent motors. They're smooth and whatever else, but it's like, the thing was so lackluster. I mean, it was like, seriously, listening to Bardwell boring. It was really bad. I took those motors off, and they're good motors. I flew them, I think, once, twice. I gave them to my buddy in the club, and then I went out and bought different motors. I found with the Jadina, more is better with power, my opinion. Okay, I built a few of these now. And here's the Good Witch. Now, this was the first Jadina I ever built. I used one of these Cadex nasty ass things in there. I'm going to take it out and put it in a Fox Ear, and it's solely because I hate the way it looks. Maybe it's because I'm colorblind, but it looks gross to me. But anyway, this one's also got a cicada in it. Same gear, same VTX, same receiver, all that stuff. The camera's different, but this one's running those X Nova Lightnings, and these things are fucking insane. They fly on this bird so good. Oh, I love them. These are some badass motors. But those Willies I bought, I'm telling you, hang on. I was so impressed with the Willies on the campfire build that I immediately ordered 4 more specifically for this build. But I wanted the super high speed because I'm going to go biprop or dual bladed props. So here is a very similar build, almost identical, except for the flight controller and the motors. These motors are probably a little bit heavier because these are the Avengers. Very good biceps. So we're going to weigh them and see what the difference is, because this one's running the micro stack with the Pink Willies, or whatever the fuck they're called, Wild Willies, and then this one's running those big ass Avengers. So let's see on the scale that tells no lies. Bammo. This one has a strap on it, does it? Let's make it even now. This is one of my favorite birds. This is the one I always called affectionately the witch, and because it was the first time I headhunted a Jadina, and I think it's just flash. I love this bird. All right, let's see. Well, that's good, dumbass. Make it so they can see it. 372. Okay. Now, for a bird that has this much horsepower, believe it or not, that's not that bad. Okay. 350. So it is a little bit lighter. It's negligible. This one's definitely faster. I'll tell you that right off the bat. That one may have more punch out on torque, but you're also running 3-bladed props with monster truck motors. So I'd call it a draw. This thing's going to be so fast, it's going to peel your face off. I mean, that's forget about it. It's going to be awesome. So that is the build overview. The props that I'm using on this are the same props that I did on that build review. Was it yesterday? Yeah, the Mocha Griff Light. It's in my office right now. I can't remember. Yeah, you guys saw it. It had the flames on top and shit. And that's these Cyclone 50 things. Buddy of mine on the channel said to go to a doll prop, I believe. I can't remember. I'll have to revisit that. And he said these suck and go to a different one. I've been out of the bi-blade thing too long. So, yeah, I got to kind of, buy a few and see what I dig. But on the pop test, I thought, and I haven't popped this one yet, but on the pop test on the Griff Light with these blades, and that one's running T-Motor F. No. What did we put on that? I can't fucking remember now. That's sad. That's when you know you're building too many birds. Oh, that's got those Engineer X's on them. Those 2700s. Those are bad. Yeah, it's Friday, kids. But I thought they were actually pretty good. But I just popped them. I didn't run full speed. I didn't, do straight runs, straight lines. And my buddy on the channel probably knows more about two-bladed racing props than I do. So I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. I'll try what he said and see what we got. So that is it. That is the Kandy build. How cool is that? Definitely not the cheapest bird you're ever going to do. Little terrifying flying very expensive birds, because these are very expensive. I mean, when you consider, I bought this frame off Mocha for 75 bucks, and then the motors are 106 bucks. The flight controller was, what is that, 70 bucks. Dip job and all that crap, that's negligible. It's 10 bucks. The camera's 40 bucks. Receiver's 15 bucks. Yeah, shit adds up. It's not a cheap bird, but it's a fun bird. Bam. So, anyway, kids, I hope you enjoyed it. I will do a pop test, or hopefully just a real flight video of this baby pretty soon. So, talk soon. Keep shining side up. Bye.
Bam, JJ! Hope you like fishing. Bam, JJ! Hey, JJ! Hope you like fishing.